Hi, what's up, everyone? I'm Peter Kim.
And I'm Wenji Kim.
And this is Two Kims One Pod. Thanks so much for coming back. This is the last one of the year.
Last one of the year.
It's the final
countdown.
finale.
Yeah.
It's the final
Countdown.
Ba-da-dun-dun-dun. Do you have any New Year's plans?
I typically do a Noon's Year Eve.
Oh, okay. What does that mean?
So because I have children.
You do it at 12 noon.
Yeah. We count down.
So you do the countdown
at noon, and I host
That's fun.
I host like a sort of like a caviar brunch.
Ooh, oh my gosh! Speaking of caviar, I recently went out and had. I gotta say, I'm not a big caviar like connoisseur. Like, I don't know much. I don't taste it enough to know the difference. But I had some at a restaurant.
Okay.
2 days ago.
Like actual, like on a mother of pearl spoon or like on a deviled egg?
Yes.
Okay.
No, it was kind of like deconstructed deviled egg dust. But
wait, the egg was dusty?
So that, yeah, they had like yolk and white, but like finely ground almost, like chopped.
Okay.
And then chives like tiny, like the knife work on this was crazy.
Okay.
And like the shallots were like, it was crazy. Like the smallest cut I have ever seen.
Yeah.
But uniform.
Okay, so it wasn't
what I mean?
It wasn't minced, it was like pinced.
Yeah, chinced.
Okay.
Chinced. And then the mother of pearl spoon in the like the ounce of whatever we got on like a ice thing. And then they gave us some like yummy creme fraiche and some chips.
Yes. Wait, so they gave you like the mother.
It was almost like a deconstructed
Okay.
deviled egg.
But you guys got the ounce of caviar.
The ounce of caviar just on ice by itself.
Okay.
Or like a glass with on ice. And let me tell you, it was called Kaluga Hybrid.
Okay, so
sturgeon.
Yeah. It's like a beluga and yeah.
Oh my God.
That is a really expensive
I
dish.
took one bite.
That is a really expensive
of one ball.
Yeah.
And I felt it in my gooch.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? I've never felt that before.
That's pure umami. That's the
What
sea.
is that?
That's the sea. That's Moana.
No.
She's calling
no.
you. Tafiti is calling you.
It's calling.
You better
the ocean.
You better fucking
Bitch,
answer.
I'm answering. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. She calls me. Like, the song was coming out of my anus.
Dude, yeah.
What? No, I've never felt this feeling before.
You've never had this?
I must have only eaten like cheap.
Yeah.
Because we went, it was date night.
Yeah, because
So
I was
we
going to say,
went
this is an expensive dish.
It was MP.
Market
Yeah.
price. I'm sure it was. And the market's not good.
It's very, very bad right now. I'll tell you, it was $1.20.
Yeah, the interest rates
for an
are
ounce.
high.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
So I was like, and then we looked it up on Amazon, and they sell it for 110, 105 or 110. So we got a $10 upcharge from Amazon. So I'm like, okay, but anyway,
I guess it's a deal.
So yeah, not on Amazon, like some online site, but we had to look it up because I was like, I didn't even ask for the price. I said, okay, just bring it. We're celebrating. Just bring it.
Okay.
When I tell you, I have never had I don't even know how to call it. Like, from taste bud to the bottom of my taint was alert.
From tip to taint.
And ringing.
From tip to taint.
With. It's what I've never had the experience of people saying, like, I got horny off of oysters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they say it's like aphrodisiac.
Yes.
I've never experienced that before with oysters. I was like, okay, I get it. Like, it's cool, and it's like kind of like slurping or like cunnilingus, I suppose. That's why, like, that's like what it's like, kind of mimicking, I guess, whatever. But like, I never felt it in my taint.
Mm-hmm.
Like that bodily somatic response to eating something. And when I ate that caviar, I was like, this is why the rich are doing it.
Yes.
They're getting off.
You really? I mean, okay, you can.
I had no idea,
you can-
Unji, that you were getting horny.
I mean, you can say what you want to say about the rich, and I do, but
You must.
and I must. But truly, when it comes to culinary experiences, and very specifically caviar and oysters, there's a reason why. There's a reason why rich
It's
people have 5
sex.
kids.
Yes. Oh my God. I finally understood it. Like, I guess I've just never had purchased the echelon of these things enough to experience the like ringing, like true, like it felt like a gong went off in my loins.
I mean, now that you experience it, you understand where I'm coming from, where I'm just chasing that
Yes.
high. So I settle for
Yes.
a lower threshold of it, right? You're just chasing that. And so
you're
like,
getting the stepped on cocaine.
yes.
Oh
So
my
now
God.
that's so it's
just to
the
get the little
yes.
the lift.
the memory of.
Wait, so do you get so horny off your caviar?
No, I'm not paying market
do you-
price. Like I'm not doing
Oh.
that. That's why I drink the champagne.
To wash it down.
I mean, by which I mean the prosecco. But
This didn't even taste like when you say Tafiti, like it didn't even taste like sea. It tasted like ocean. You know, like the different. It's like it wasn't salty at all, or like brine. It was like creamy and nutty,
Mm-hmm.
and like it awoken something inside of me that I had presumed been dead.
what a way to enter 2025.
Yeah,
What a way to enter.
alive in
Alive.
2025.
Because you know that's the reason why you are supposed to have like champagne because think about like what you just
That
experienced
also does the thing.
because of how bubbly it is because the bubbles are so small in champagne, right? Like if
Yeah,
you've ever
yeah.
had Vouv,
The good stuff.
if you've ever
Yeah.
had Vouv or like there's like another like a thing.
Moët de Chandon.
There's like
or
a
like
thing. There's a
Dom
word,
Pérignon.
yeah, like a Dom or something
Yeah.
like that, like, where it's like the champagne is almost very bright but also buttery.
Buttery. Yes.
That's what it's
Yeah.
mimicking. So it's like that only enhances that flavor when you take it away. And so like so you imagine you have that and then you wash it
That's
down
why
with
you're
that.
doing-
It's like
You're coming.
you're coming and your mouth is gout. Like you got gout. Like that's cream. That's cream. That's butter. And it's of like it's because
Another like essence. It's not like
it's not
cream
earthly.
butter that
It's
as
not
we know
earthly.
it.
It is not earthly.
It's cosmic.
Yeah. Because it's not of the earth, right? It's of this. Like the ocean.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like deep ocean. It feels like that's what it feels like when the ocean comes. Like
It's primordial.
climaxes.
It's primordial.
Oh God.
It's like it is because it's truly
It was sensory magic.
It's
like, I
life-giving.
could not even.
It's
I
life-giving.
could not even like believe what I was feeling.
I mean that is really it because it's
And I'm not drunk. I'm not drinking.
No.
Like I'm not like I might be a little high from like a joint or whatever. But like, when am I not? Like it was no other difference of like like I wasn't on a different kind of drug. Like it was so crazy.
I can't believe you've never had caviar like that.
Never. I've only had caviar, and I was like, okay, like salty,
Yeah, yeah.
cool.
No, it's the
No.
ooh and the umami. Like
Yes.
it is really the essence. And that's why like
Yeah.
it comes the sort of gentility, like the sort of like the fact that everything's so finely chopped and everything's so small, like even the
Yes.
mother of pearl like spoon of it all, like it's supposed to
It's
have
tiny. Yeah.
because like that's almost how you should.
That's how you're supposed to eat it.
Yeah.
Like even eating one ball was exquisite. Like it was like ruminating in my mouth hole.
It is one of the best bites.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like introducing all the like fresh oniony on top of that, and like the fineness of it all like just melted along with it. I think that's what the fineness does. It's like there's no need for mastication. It's just like dancing on your tongue, basically.
It's so exciting to like know.
Crazy.
Isn't it? It's like there are parts of me where like it's almost like there are parts where that experience is comforting because to know that some things cannot be improved upon, right? That's
beautiful.
It always was this, and that we're always just trying to get back to it, right? And granted, it is now
Well,
gate kept in a way
yeah.
that's insane.
Well, this is gonna piss me off now every time I have lesser quality.
Oh, it never pisses me off. I'm just happy to be.
No,
I'm happy to be inside the gates.
Invited?
Yeah. Who cares?
I think I do.
Okay. Well,
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, because
That's the difference,
I can't
yeah.
help but I know I'm miserable. I'm like constantly comparing, but like,
I mean, have you ever
it's
had
the
good
theft of joy.
I mean,
I
have you ever
swear.
had like top tier uni?
Yes,
It's
I
like
got
that.
okay, but that's what I mean. Like, I got uni pulled out by Santa Barbaran divers on their boat, cracked open and given to me. Like I slurped it out of its spiny hole.
Yes.
And then I go to, shimby shamong, shono shong, and then like they're like, here's the uni plate, and I'm like, this isn't uni.
This isn't uni.
bitch.
This is Unji. And
And she's gone. She turned.
I mean, like truly, like it's like to me, great caviar and like uni is on par. Like uni is
On par.
Yeah,
Uni is beyond.
beyond. Like
Caviar, I think, edges uni out in that I think the smallness and the pack, the punch it packs.
it is it is more delicate flavor.
Yes. And it takes less to incite this like arousal within me as opposed to uni is like it's not as delicate. This is so stupid. Who cares? No one everyone listening's like, "What? Shut the fuck up. What are you doing for New Year's?"
No, it's literally
So
like
this is
like
we
literally
just went on
the
like
least relatable part.
No, I think it is very relatable because I just went from someone who didn't understand that part of their palate / psychosomatic pleasure from going from that 0 to 100. So like I think that is relatable because some people who don't know it, there is a hope, and then for like people like you who do know it, you're like, no, welcome. We've been waiting for you.
Yeah, welcome to market price. Like it is.
Yeah. There's never a time I saw MP and I didn't ask what is the market price.
I cannot believe
Because
you did
I will tell you, if she said 120, I would have balked. I would have been like,
Yes.
never mind. That's why if I'm if I'm like even dancing around MP, I'm not gonna ask because I'll deal with it later.
Okay. I mean that's
We'll figure it out with Klarna. Like it's gonna be.
you Klarna this meal.
Brought to you by Clover. Later pay.
We can all have a taste of the ocean.
Yes.
And lay
At
away.
4.5% APY at a time. Oh my god.
Usurious rates. I mean, like-
that's so funny. We learned from the best.
Oh, that's so
Okay, so
funny.
you're gonna have like a boozy brunch at 12.
Yeah,
Okay,
like-
and then call it an earlier night.
Yeah, like basically, I have everyone goes home at.
We might do that too.
Yeah, like we literally just like do this, and everyone has to go home for their nap. Like basically, that's it.
Yeah.
And then I will say that like last year I did have sturgeon caviar, like black caviar, whatever the market price. I think it was an 1 ounce for like $50, right? Like that's pretty expensive.
Not bad. Not 120.
No, but I mean it wasn't
The
like
market
it wasn't the
is really
beluga.
bad.
It wasn't beluga.
It was no, I didn't have beluga. I had kaluga. Okay. That's like Korean beluga.
Auga.
Auga.
Like
Uga chaga.
But I did
The
have
kaluga was a hybrid.
and it sounds like it was like one of those innovations that's totally worth it. But I did have like a fancy black caviar that like it was being served. Can I tell you that my best friend's child and my son ate so much of this fucking black caviar, and as they're taking it, they're like, "Oh, this is really good," and they're taking it by the spoonful and putting it into their fucking mouth. And I'm looking at them, being like, "Get a fucking job, shut up,
the
get out
fuck?
of here." So I'm not doing that this
Pay
year.
the rent.
This is what I'm saying.
No.
You can't No.
That the kids table does no. The kids are not.
You're not
allowed
gonna.
at
You're
the
not.
caviar
But they
table.
loved it.
No.
They were like, "Oh, this is so good." I'm like,
Well,
"Yeah, no shit, it's good."
Yeah, it's expensive. $50 a fucking ounce, bitch.
You know what I mean?
fuck?
That's like weed. That's like it's.
That's not weed.
It's not weed, not anymore.
It's not $50 an ounce.
But you know,
Maybe in the 70s.
Yeah, it was like a
But,
step then, like whatever.
Yeah, you know, like it's very. There. I mean, the fact that they're even touching black caviar.
And enjoying it.
In what world? In what world?
I don't. I mean, like
You're putting the mother of pearl spoon in your fucking personal mouth, bitch. That's for everyone.
That's for everybody.
At the party.
We're all having it on.
Put it on a piece of toast.
We're
bitch.
putting it on blinis.
Melba.
Yeah, we're putting it on blinis.
Something. Yeah, there you go.
And you know, I had the creme fraiche with the chips, everything out like for this, and they were just like. So I'm not doing that this year, but I'm just having the regular like ikura like roe, and then that's how I like typically do it. And then everyone gets like $1, the red envelopes and shit. But
okay.
yeah. So it's like, but it's not gonna be very big because everyone is really sick this year.
Bitch.
Everyone is sick.
Non-COVID is really going around.
Like
everyone, it sounds like COVID, bitch. Like that's what it really is sounding like, but everyone's getting it.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically it's bird flu, right?
No, it's not bird flu yet. Although the first human, so did you hear the? So there's one person sick in the hospital right now with bird flu.
Where?
They got transferred by he was a dairy farmer or whatever, dairy person, which is like most of the people that are getting sick who are like right next to all the cows that are getting sick, with bird flu.
Right.
But now with the H1N1, whatever the bird flu is, within his body has mutated to now be transferable from human to human.
Wow.
Which had not been before.
No.
That's why we're not that worried about bird flu and whatever, all that stuff, because it's only from animals to animals. But within his body was the host, the perfect host to evolve this virus.
Damn.
Into human to human. So now we're like, another pandemic.
Yeah.
You know, so wear those masks, figure it out. And, you know, we're about to have RFK in charge. Get your ass to a Chinese pharmacy as soon as possible. Or go to Mexico, bitch. You better figure something out because
that is really wild.
Vaccine. Polio's going away. I mean, coming back.
Speaking of RFK and the way looking down the gauntlet of 2025, like
yes.
Oh my god. Okay, so that's what I'm doing for my New Year's Eve. What about you?
New Year's Eve, we're going away to a little cabin situation. We're watching a friend's dog, so we have 3 dogs in the house.
Oh my god,
it's a fucking zoo.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of poop. But the dog's been really nice to have around, just like another dog who's like chill. But you know, it's like one more dog to walk and one more dog.
Let me ask you this.
After they've been in the mud. And
let me ask you this.
What?
How many dogs do you think equal a child at this point?
One
dog.
It's 1 to 1.
You think one dog equals one child?
One child, yes. To me.
No,
to me.
I'm gonna say,
and that's a personal thing to me. I'm not saying that's for y'all.
I'm gonna say for me, like, in terms of your life, when you hit 3 dogs in your house, I'm gonna say, Peter, get a dog, get a baby,
get a baby,
and get rid of 2 dogs.
Well, maybe that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Is like I'm trying to take on 3 dogs to see if 1 baby is possible. Because Eric and I are getting to a point where we're like thinking about babies, talking about New Year. We're not like out here. We don't have the money to pay for a uterus or pay for someone to carry, or even an adoption is a lot of money.
Yes.
And even, you know, all of that. So we don't have that, but we have to start thinking about like, well, what are we making money for? Is it for a family? Is it for an expansion of the, you know, LBK gang? Like, are we doing this because we want to versus because we have nothing left to do. You know, like, and no shade on anyone. That's not dragging anyone for their filth, but that's for me to figure out. Like, am I doing it because I really think that that's something I want to have happen versus like, well, what else are we doing?
Between the two of you, where's LB on it?
He wants to have a family and expand.
Yeah.
I'm more reticent because I did not have parents to show me how to do it or to even show a child that they're worthy or loved or besides just, the normal stuff of like providing a roof and,
For sure.
paying the rent sometimes on time, that kind of stuff occasionally. And so I get that. And that is love. And I'm starting to understand that as well. So I'm really at a place where I'm like, that sounds nice to be able to have my own crew, my own unit of like people that I
absolutely
that I love and live life for and with and
are of.
Yes, a community.
Yeah. Like, I mean,
the smallest of communities,
And it's beyond community, right? Like, because they're the community that you create around that family is something else.
Right.
Like, it's, you're...
And it's very... Yeah. And right now, I feel like we don't... That's what's missing in my life is that kind of like... The image of like a very old-rooted tree. Right now, it feels very sapling vibes where it's kind of like a strong gust of wind could like knock us away or like float us into oblivion.
Sure.
So like that's kind of what I'm craving as I get into my 40s. And I'm craving less and less validation from strangers.
Yes.
By the way, I did a set last night. It was the first time I did a set where I was like, this is not gonna be funny.
Wait, what happened?
Nothing happened, but I just wanted to get up and talk. And like, I had a couple things to like talk about,
Sure.
but like, yeah, I didn't really care. I was like, there's going to be, and I asked to go first too, because it was all on the west side. So I was like, I just want to go up there and like, I haven't been up in a while. I just want to like get up and like stretch. And it was fine. Like, I was like, there's plenty of great people after me. Like, you will get a show. But like, and I was telling them like, this is not going to be funny. So like, just hang out.
I mean, sure, it was still funny, but like,
it was amusing. But, I was...
I mean...
But I wouldn't say, like, funny. Like, I'm not... I wasn't sweating.
And you were not killing in the way that you are accustomed.
100%.
Yeah.
And, on top of that, I couldn't care less.
Welcome to my world. Welcome. You are ready to have a child. You are absolutely...
Yeah. Yes. I am. And I was like, none of you matter to me. And I don't care if you laugh. Like, I'm good. Bitch, I'm still getting my $20.
And that's the thing. It's like, and you have stuff you want to say, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's like ideas and points you want to figure out and stretch. So yeah, that's what it is. Can I going back to the kid thing?
I've never had that before. Like, I have like things I want to try out, but like I always want to kill.
Yeah, no.
Like, this was the first time I didn't care to kill.
Again, welcome to my world. Like, that's why I like feel fine.
That's crazy.
It's very liberating.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It feels great.
It's just I think it, I will say, like, having talked to you about this before, I didn't know that you were capable of that. That's crazy.
Capable of not going for the kill?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know either. I don't think I like,
I think there's something.
I've not killed before,
but I didn't think that like something physically in you would allow you to actively. Because there's like something. There's like a mode you click into.
I know. Yeah.
So I wasn't even sure. And there's just like fundamentally like, and there's plenty of people that are like that, right? And it's like a very novel, beautiful, special thing.
Yeah.
That's actually really exciting. I'm sure it felt really cool.
It was.
Yeah. Yeah, because like
It was more like like all my like little bits that I had that didn't work.
sure.
Only the bartender was laughing, and I was like, "Great,
The back of the room. I mean, like the thing is,
I don't care." Like, yeah,
but you'll
like,
take
it's
that
for
stuff
that guy,
and you'll take that stuff and you'll figure it out. Like that's literally
Yeah,
how.
yeah.
Like to me, that stuff
It
is
felt
very,
like open mic.
very beneficial.
Yeah, it felt very like open mic,
Yes.
but it was a Saturday night crowd.
Ab-
So, but like
Yes.
usually a Saturday night crowd, when it's packed, like I want to give them a good show.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give them like, oh my God, I can't breathe, but yeah, like.
But you
I-
let yourself breathe here, right? Like you let yourself kind of
Yeah.
like I mean, I really that's exciting. Okay, so I wasn't completely joking about like how that like means that you're ready to have children, but let me say this. There is a part of having children that allows you to how you're saying that like there's something about because of how we grew up, like we don't know how to parent, right? You don't know like a form of family that you can model.
No, that's not true. At least for me, I know. I just don't think. I just don't believe that I could come through.
So I'm for me personally, I had a difficult time with like figuring out how to like where I'm supposed to be inside of this like family and how to love correctly, basically, like in a way that felt more healthy. But at this point, and the people that have been listening to this pod long enough know that we've been on a journey to parent ourselves, right? Like reparent ourselves and learn how to talk to ourselves in a more healthy way, create family, create sustaining and healthier relationships with other people and ourselves.
Yeah.
Having children helps with all of that in a way that simply doing it on your own in the introspective sort of work that you do, Peter. Because the thing is, when I see your development and then I see how I'm developing, I know that if I had not had children, I would be nowhere. I would not have the fortitude and the wherewithal to have done any of the progress you've done on your own. I would be adrift. So
I don't know if that's true.
I mean, I would have taken me much longer.
I see what you're saying though.
Yes.
Like they helped,
Focus.
fast track it.
Yes.
Yeah, because you had to.
I had to.
Yeah.
And also there is an emotional fountain and well that I simply would not have had access to.
Interesting.
So it helps you like recover. There's like this stuff, and it's like people are so afraid because
Like you heal through how
because
you love
have
your kids.
and because you also have more love coming
Yeah,
from
to
like
give.
yes.
Yeah.
Coming from them inside of this, like it all feels bigger, and all of a sudden you have more. You don't come from the scarcity mindset. You're like
Right.
dealing with much more clay to like work with. So
Right.
you don't have to you don't feel as afraid. And
right. So you've like leveled up in your access
yes,
to that.
you have like if you think about like in a gaming situation where you have the lives and health, like you just like you just have more. And so you can take more chances. You can you're leveling up. You're moving more quickly because you have more resources.
Okay.
So
yeah, interesting.
So like I think that and I know that I am someone that would have also been like very afraid. Like until I had healed, I would not have thought that I could or should have. And
yeah.
And I'm here to say very toxically, like, go for it, buddy. Like, even if you're not completely healed.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is like I feel pretty healed.
Then, honey, you
like,
are.
Like I don't know if I'm
run towards
struggling or not struggling. What am I saying? The scarcity mindset of like someone who is in like fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
I think I was talking about this last time with you. Like it's the first time I'm feeling like not
yes
in survival mode.
yes
which is why I'm considering like, oh, does that mean my capacity is growing?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like that's what I'm trying to like.
I mean, it's you're ready.
Logic out.
You're
you
ready.
know?
I mean, you want to say whatever you want to say about money, but money will money.
Money will come.
Yeah. And
Money will come.
Money will money, or
Should I go fund me an adoption?
I mean, it's not even honestly.
Patreon, help us out.
I mean-
Help me adopt a child.
I mean, I don't even know if adoption will be that much cheaper than a surrogate.
I bet not.
Yeah, not at this. I swear to you, like I know several people
Yeah.
that have done. I would say
I've had several friends offer their wombs.
Well-
no, not several. One specific friend, and I've
take them up on
I've
it.
I don't know about hers, but I'm kidding. I'm sure she has a great uterus, but like,
But like, there's. I'm telling you, I know. I have in my mind, just off the top of mind, I know 4 families who went initially tried adoption, but given the legal and time and like the actual cost of adoption was ultimately less than, and not just a little bit, right? Like less
that
than.
sucks for all the kids that
This
need
is what
to
I'm
be adopted
saying.
out there.
This is what
That
I'm saying. It sucks.
Like, why are they making it so hard? Like, I get it. Like, you don't want them to go to a bad home, but like,
How much
some
worse
of
can
them
it be?
Go to like a medium.
Yeah.
I know. Like, how much can they go to? Like a medium home? Like where they're not like beating them, but they're not exceptionally loving.
And also like
like, okay, like that builds character. That person's gonna be a writer. Like,
we need more. I mean, like,
where are all the artists? How are we? We can't just fucking have a perfect world all the time.
I mean, like, truly, also, like most middle-aged gay people at this point have had to do so much
How
healing.
dare you? How dare you, middle aged? How dare you? 42 is that middle?
I'm thinking about my friend.
you're
I'm thinking
right.
about the
You're
other
right.
families. I'm not talking
You're
about
right.
you.
We're
You're still a teen.
middle-aged.
You would be a teen mom. But what I'm saying is, I'm saying the other people that I know who are middle aged, they've had to do
Yeah.
work on themselves because had to come out. They were gay in like the 90s, right? Like they had pre-Glee. They had to be gay pre-Glee. So it's like like whatever you want to say about like their lifestyle, they as human beings and individuals have done so much more work and are
You're right.
like that's the part that was really a tragedy, at least within the adoption situation. Like I don't know why, but I will say all 4 have all elected to go surrogate route.
Yeah.
And
how do you find a surrogate? Like, are you like, is there like a
Yes.
rentmybelly.com
Yes.
or something like? Is
Yes.
there like a site?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
There are
cool.
several agencies. One of my,
I
this
hope
was
they're
expensive,
doing it
but-
out of like. I hope it's not like they're like trafficked into being baby ovens or something. You know what I mean?
Well, one of but if they were, one of them, it was a very specifically, she wanted very specifically like a Jewish womb. So this woman needed to, like, she was very religious Jewish woman.
An untattooed belly.
So this is a womb that had never tasted bacon. She was very religious.
Yes.
But so she had a lot of kids. So she did this all the time. This was her full-time job.
I see.
So like every year,
good.
she gets,
I that would be like a great person who's like, hey, I knocked these out.
yeah,
Like,
this is what I do.
yeah.
She's at, like, had
Yeah.
done 9. She has like
Oh,
3 of her
lovely.
own, and just like this is what she's been doing for the last like 6 years.
amazing.
Yeah. I don't know if it was amazing, but like, you know, her husband needs to study Torah. So like, you know, she's got to make that money, you know.
Oh my God, it's a rabbi's wife.
No, she's not a rabbi.
Oh, he's just studying.
He's just really religious.
Oh.
So, you know, like, and how about this? It wasn't that crazy expensive. It was like, it was because of all the other like medical
Under
costs.
6 figures or over?
Significantly under.
Oh.
But it's the other stuff, right? Like the hospital stay, the OB visits, like all this stuff is like when it starts to rack up. And, you know, that's like what you're paying for. Like the actual, like,
So you're saying we should do a home birth?
I mean, I don't know what midwives are charging out in LA, but I can't imagine it's cheap. So like,
No, we'd have to go up to like South Dakota or something.
yeah, I mean, like, and that's what I mean. That's why it's all
Yeah.
possible. Whereas with adoption,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have to have it here. It's like even if you do an international adoption now, it's still a ton of money, a ton of like time,
Right.
you know, and like I think even international adoptions are really tough now, especially for gay couples.
You know what I would also be into is, excuse me, fostering.
Okay.
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
I like the idea of the mentorship of parenting much more than like,
The day-to-day drudgery.
yeah, like the not to you know, it's not drudgery, you know, it's just your perspective shifts to like, I love this thing, so like I want to make sure that they have a great life or whatever. And you know, of course, all of that being said, I think I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but if we had a child, Eric and I'm afraid that Eric will be the disciplinarian, and I would really just want to
Have fun.
be his friend.
Yeah.
Or be her friend. And just be like, I'm the silly one. And just be like, ugh, your dad's on one again. You know, like, because I know he can't help but be rules, and I can't help but be fuck the rules.
Who are you with the dogs?
That.
And that's
I'm like,
and that's and that, you know what, that's
playful. I let them
and
off
it's important.
leash.
It's
like I.
but you want
I
both of
sneak
you
them
guys to be.
bacon,
I'm just
you know?
saying, but both you guys cannot be that.
No, I know. That's what I mean. Like, so that's why I'm like, I don't know if I need a like baby from birth. Like, I can foster a little older of a kid. Like, I'm here to have fun and give you some life, just some direction, you know, and like, and just a little bit of help. Like, that's all I can do. Like, I don't have much for you besides that.
Let me say this.
The unconditional love, I'm gonna have to work on that.
That is really
Okay.
because
Really is.
it's tough.
Hard.
It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
tough to intellectualize. It is very easy to live.
Okay.
It's very strange because I'm telling you, like, I it's so funny.
I mean, do you do it with your husband?
Unconditional love?
Yeah.
No. You think
Okay.
I love my husband unconditionally?
No?
I mean,
I'm trying to be there.
what I'm saying.
I do. I know I do intellectually, but there are days where I'm like,
I could leave you
the
tomorrow.
conditions are bad. Yeah.
The driving conditions, it's foggy. We shouldn't be out on the road.
Yeah.
I mean,
The visible distance is 0 feet.
okay, how about this? It's because it's so funny when you talk about this because between the two of us, Max is obviously the one that wanted to have children, was very much pushing for this, and I was like, I want to have
A career.
yeah. I want to have this relationship more than I don't want to have children. Right?
Okay.
Right. That
okay.
was like sort of like the thing, right?
Yeah.
And if you had asked me before I had children if I loved my husband unconditionally, I would have said absolutely. Like without question, I would have said yes. Having had children now, I understand that absolutely I do not love him unconditionally.
It's not true.
It's not the same.
Because you love your kids
Unconditionally.
unconditionally. And that's not the same love you have for your husband.
No.
What changed? Your understanding of it?
It's like how you just experienced with the caviar. Right? Like you'd had it before. You're like, this is what caviar is, right? Like, oh, this is my...
I see. And then you're like, oh, this is what caviar
is caviar.
is. Oh, I was missing out.
Like
I
you don't
see.
know until you don't know what you don't know.
I feel like that's like nickels and dimes or like oranges and apples, right? Like how could a mother's love for her children be compared to a spouse's love for each other?
This is
like
what I'm
that
saying.
doesn't compare.
An adult to an adult, like what the like, you know what I mean? Like how can you say like unconditionally? Sure, I guess. Like I will like
I'll try.
You know, I'm out here. Like, I'm not gonna say that. Like, like, oh, if you became ugly, like I'm gonna
I
leave.
love how became ugly, as if you're going like, oh yeah, it's the aesthetics for me.
I'm just, you know what I'm saying? It's like that. There's like stuff where like he
Like
the conditions or whatever. Like if they were to change, like yes, I would.
unforgivable sins.
Yes, I could do it, right?
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, you're two adults.
You're replaceable.
Yes, you're two adults making a choice, right?
A choice.
There's
but between you and your children, there is
no
no
choice.
Interesting.
And that's what I mean like, about like
but that's different than I don't know, maybe the way your parents really went through a lot with you and still hung around, therefore ergo no choice. In my family there's a lot of burnt bridges, so it felt like there was a choice.
I will say that if I wasn't an only, I don't know. And I will also say that like
if they had to split the love. Yeah.
And I will also say that just like having been raised in it, the love never felt unconditional.
Same.
You know?
That's why I'm saying like, so even that, maybe that's a finer point on it, is that like maybe I will love unconditionally, but will they feel that from me, or will they feel it conditional like I did with my parents? Because my mom loves me unconditionally. I know that.
Yes.
But it never felt like that. It always felt like there was
a lot of conditions.
highly conditional.
There were terms and conditions. Yeah.
Yes, honey, and you had to agree and accept.
You had to go all the way to the bottom. And
You
click
cannot
it.
ask app not to track.
Oh, that got me.
No declinations here.
I mean, like,
Is that a word, declination?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I won't look it up then. If you say yes, I'm believing it.
It is. It is. Yes, it is. It's
Okay.
yeah. It's you don't. Yeah, it is absolutely, and you can
Okay.
pronounce it other ways, but yeah, that is absolutely a word.
How? Decline.
Yeah,
Declination.
decline. No, declination. That is it. Okay.
That is it.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe I'm thinking of something another word, but yes, it is. I think that's a word. Again, if you belong to
Don't. Yeah, just Google
it.
folks.
And then
Don't.
also if you want to talk back to us about it, you must join the Patreon. And so
That's the only way. By the way, the third Patreon's going up this week, so look out for that. The third, of a series of videos. If you're on the Patreon, there's 1 and 2 has been posted. So the third one's going up, where once again, I try to destroy everything good about my career.
yeah, it is. I will, like, I think if you were to ask my son about it, like, I'm not easy on him, and he for sure feels pressure from me, because like if you were to ask us like, but pre-children, like who was gonna be the fun and who was gonna be this, he thought he was gonna be the disciplinarian, and that I would be the fun one. Exact opposite.
Opposite. Interesting. Maybe that'll happen to me too.
I mean, if it's not happening with the dogs, it's not going to happen. Like it will probably be the same, and that's good because it means like it is. That's like it's good stuff in you to discover about yourself, and it's like nourishes and nurtures like good and new things. But if you were to ask my son, he feels unconditional love. That's the reason why he acts the way that he does. He's not scared of us, and that's what like pisses me off because I don't always know like how to deal with that.
Right.
Like, because I love you unconditionally, but I don't know what this dynamic is.
There has to be a boundary between. Well, that's interesting. I was talking about that the other day about like how I've always dreamed of me and my mom being besties.
Yes.
And she refuses to like let go of that boundary of mother and son. And now I'm like coming to respect her boundary and not being like upset about it because like TGIF sold me the wrong fucking dream. So like that's another, I think, reason why I'm feeling a little more like geared towards maybe being a father, being a parent, because I'm just like you said, like I'm just understanding more layers and a deeper understanding of myself, my dynamics,
Yes.
my ancestral damage, how much I can step out of it, how much I have to really be in step with it, because fighting, like, it's really like fighting against the wave kind of situation where it's like you just have to turn around and accept that you are this type of person and you react this type of way. So knowing that, like, you have to like build structures around it to, like, it's, I almost think of it as like a rushing river, and like it's only going one direction, so you have to build like little like dams around the river, or like
To affect the
breaks
current. Yes.
the current,
Yeah.
because it's still going from here to here, but you're just trying to divert it a little bit so it doesn't feel as abrasive, I guess, at least personally for me.
I mean, and the folly.
Like, I'm trying to not be as
absolutely, yeah. Because the folly of youth is thinking that you can not only turn the tide and
right,
change the current,
right.
but the folly of youth is that you think that you can make this river a road, right? Like you think,
or yeah,
like
or an ocean,
or an ocean.
or
Like,
like,
you just
yeah.
think you think like this is just the starting point. There's no acknowledgement of what is, right? Because you really do
and
have
the context of whence you came. Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Like, because you really
and
think you can be everything different.
Right. And that's such a like Korean thing that I don't know if my mom and my family ever imprinted on me, because they maybe felt shame, or they wanted to like delete their narrative, and there was not, like, when I see like my friends talk about like their like rich grandparents,
Yes.
and like how they're still in Seoul and they have like those manicured
Yes.
gardens and stuff, like they have a better understanding of like their family tree, where they come from. There's a lot of pride behind like, oh, this person was a teacher at
Yes.
fucking Korea University or Yonsei or whatever, like, and it's always those like better learned people that immigrated through like scholastic reasons as opposed to like scam reasons.
Yeah.
Like, we were the scam
We're
reasons,
scam reasons, yeah.
So there's not a lot of like looking back, and there's a lot of push towards like, be an American, go make money.
The future. It's always towards
The future. Don't look back.
Like, you
Go.
can be whatever you want to be.
Whatever you want. So they were
Don't be
sold,
like
and
us.
we were sold.
Yes.
Into
Don't be like us.
Don't look back.
Be new. Be something totally
new.
something totally different. And like, it is
except for when it comes to everything about yourself, like being Korean, like, so it is this weird like rejection of ancestry and propulsion into the brave new world of the American dream.
and it is good. It is. There are things that have benefited us so deeply because of this attitude. Certainly.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel
Yeah.
tied to like a thing or to a
pressure,
yes,
or like, yes.
like this expectation or this like place. But I see it with my son, because my husband's family has exactly what you're talking about. This person was that. He was the professor here. There are still textbooks with his name being sold in India. He was like the grandfather of computer science, like whatever, And I'm like, and my parents are like, well, he was a farmer. And then he got to sell that little plot because the farm wasn't doing good, but the suburbs were starting to move in. You know what I mean? Like, that's like the one, like, that's the successful uncle. Like, my kanapa, like, literally
Right.
was a failing farmer, and that's the only reason why I know anything about him, because he became rich. Everyone else,
He had good timing.
good timing,
He failed up.
but I don't know anything about anyone else, right? Because
Me too.
I don't know about anything else.
It's deliberate,
Oh, absolutely.
because
Because
they have burned those bridges.
But also, we want to know about like this Changanapa was like an alcoholic, XYZ. Like,
I think that would help, because like,
I mean, it's a little sad.
I feel so alone at times with my struggles,
Mm-hmm.
but like, if I knew there were other family members similarly in this ancestral line
Mm-hmm.
that struggled like me, like a closeted gay or whatever, like, it would put me into context
Context.
so much that it would release a little bit of the pressure valve of like owning all of that myself, as opposed
Yes.
to a you know, a division or a dispersion of responsibility and shame. You know, like we carry this all together. Like I'm just part of the fucking circle as opposed to like the circle.
And the thing is, just having this, like, literally, it's so funny that we're talking about this because even when I try to say that, like, I did find out a little bit about like a certain branch, like you know, alcoholism runs rampant in my father's side, and we've talked about this, but like me trying to bring it up, my mom, like, and my father quickly dismissed and was like, "There's no connection. You are like this because it's your fault." Nice try. We say no. You're trying to connect.
That's so fucked
You're trying to connect
up.
this. Like, what does that have to do with that's a person that lived 30 years before.
Yeah, and they were going through a hard time. What the fuck is wrong with
What's
you?
wrong with you?
Yeah.
He
Wow.
couldn't speak English. He
Interesting.
couldn't speak English.
Right.
He got caught up.
Right.
He married a beautiful bad person. You married an ugly good person. What's that have to do with you?
What's wrong with you? Yeah. I know. That's what I mean. It's like the gaslight of the century.
So I don't think it would matter. Like this, like their attitude and like the whole attitude of being like this kind of immigrant, like it is just about the future, propelling yourself forward, catapult, like in whatever way. So having any attachment to your past or your history, like that is an excuse.
Right.
You're looking for excuses for why you are the way you are.
Right. Why you are the way you are.
Pull your ass up.
By your damn bootstraps.
Get out of here.
If you don't have any boots, steal someone else's boots, pull them up, and get to stepping.
Get to stepping. Get away from. The thing about it is it's so strange.
Get away from me.
That's the thing. That's the part that's so tragic.
Yeah. They hate themselves.
They hate themselves. They want you to get away from them.
Yeah.
Like, don't be anything like me. So that's the part
Yeah.
that's like so actually sad. And that's when you're saying like about like the unconditional love and like that's why I don't think it will never feel conditional in this way. Because I don't want my son to leave and get away from me
or be less like you. You're like, be more like me.
No. I'm not saying that, but like, but it's like truly like, I'm just like, I don't have that same, because we've done that healing, right? We've just like, I'm not ashamed of myself in that way.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be the same. It just won't be.
Yeah.
It just won't be. No matter how fucked up you may get inside of parenting, it will not be that way.
I guess I'll just have to lean into the fact that I'm gonna fuck it up in a brand new way,
And that's exciting.
and that's exciting. I'm a pioneer.
Okay, wait a second. We fucked up
Yeah.
and we did not talk at all about like thorns.
2025. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to talk about 2024? Let's just do a quick retrospective about, the roses and thorns of our year. Now that it's the end.
Yes. Do you want to go with thorns first and then we'll end with roses?
Sure, that's a nice progression.
Yeah.
I guess my biggest thorn of the year was being absolutely tragically unemployed and broke. Since I left tech in 2012, it's been literally 12 years since then. This year was my worst year. And I'm including pandemic. Like, I was really soaring during 2020.
You were. You really were.
And 2020 and 2021 were my years.
You were really it was like
I was la cucaracha, bitch. Like, I
meteoric.
Yeah, yes.
It was exciting.
Out of control.
It was exciting.
Yeah, I felt bad for everyone. But
Oh my God.
But this year I really did feel the squeeze. And so that was a thorn before I go into roses. Can you think of any?
My thorns were I will say that this year I felt the least connected to my body and creativity. Like I would say for a lion's share of the year. Like I've gotten back to it, but like I truly, like you were talking about with money, like I probably wrote the least, like outside of my solo show or whatever like that, like I did, but I'm talking about like actual stand up and like creatively feeling like I'm doing it,
fulfilled.
Yeah. Like it was rough. Like it was I had a really tough time mothering and being a good partner. It was a rough year for my relationships. Let's just say that. Like I had a tough time when I'm talking about creativity. It's just like I was in a dark spot with all of it. And so that just means everything suffers. And I think the things that suffered the most this year were certainly relationships, not only with friends, but my partner, with my children. Like I was not there. And it's like, I would say like, like probably the most, like 2021 like it was like we were all around each other. It just like felt like it this year probably was like the truest like return to like pre-pandemic sort of like what is life now post, right? Because 2023 we were still kind of riding this high. 2022 we're still riding this high. 2024 felt like, okay, who are you now?
It was also okay,
you know. And like I think because I was also working so much, like I worked a lot.
Right.
I worked a lot this year.
You were gigging.
I was gigging. I was gigging this year in a way that was like, like not doing what I wanted, but I was like making money. So I think that for me it was a
probably
thorn.
the most you made on comedy is this year. Maybe not just maybe straight comedy, show business. Like this was like big like tick up. And I I hit like non-other work.
Yes.
Like support work.
Hit a for sure. Like but
interesting.
Again, but 2021
financially the most solvent, but creatively the least.
Yes. Like relationship wise, all of it. Like it was a tough year for me to balance, because it was like it would be one thing if I was like doing the road every other weekend and like making that kind of money, but it was like it was tough. Bits. And
that's
like
how it felt for me.
Yeah. And so it was like, and then you just have to
little
go
crumbs.
away. Yeah. And then like, so that was a tough year. So I do feel like trying to center myself, and I'm taking time to reconnect at the end of the year. So hopefully 2025 will feel better. And at least with
you should talk to my psychic.
Like, and also with money for yourself as well. Like it's like 2025. That's like this is also very Asian to like enter every new year like so optimistic. Like.
But what else is there? Like
truly.
I'm never like leaving a year being like, oh my God, that was the best year possible. I can't wait. I hope it doesn't get worse. Like I'm always thinking,
surely
like, God,
it must get worse.
Thank God that's over. Like every December, no matter what year I have, I'm like, that was exhausting. It's never like I was cruising all year. Like it always feels like that.
It's true.
Okay, another thorn, obvious. This is for the both of us, I'm sure. Yeah. Politically, the world, it seems, has turned towards strongman, dictatorship, fascism, right before our eyes. And I'd like to just leave it at that, because I don't know if I have a sharper take on what's happening.
I mean, it's giving French Revolution.
I hope.
Like, I mean, like, truly.
I really
like,
hope.
It's like all of it is like just.
Let them eat cake.
Yeah. Like,
especially with the like break of this. I was going to say about the Rosa song, but I'll just hold.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that.
But that's like definitely like politically, it was a tough year. Like, you know what? I think it felt acutely like I think it felt more thorny because we did come off of that Brett summer, that DNC Brett summer, right? Where we were just kind of like right in.
Was it also the Olympics?
Yes. Like we were just like, okay.
So there was a lot. There were like bursts of joy.
Yes.
Within like a generally gloom and doom year.
Absolutely.
Including all the wars, all the atrocities.
All of them.
The Jersey drones of it all. Like all of it. It's just like.
Oh, if the Jersey drones.
I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And what Miss Bethany Frankel is doing on the ground.
It's really
for us.
Like truly.
Looking at these Dior bags.
To me, that is really something I did not have on my 2024 bingo card.
That she was going to be the
investigative journalist of our times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing the Lord's work on TikTok, a la the Dior tote bag. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Skinny girl news. So yeah, that was a thorn. I guess one last thorn for me is I think I was like you for the better half of the year, maybe disconnected.
Yeah.
Or not as connected with my partner.
Yes.
And my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I felt in a like tizzy and didn't feel like I had enough to give to others.
Yes. That's a great way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like tapped. And so I'm glad that I'm shifting into this like more abundant and feeling a little more like secure, less scared, less survival, less fight or flight. Like I'm evolving into this more like unclench.
Because 2020 and 2021 was such an Abudanza era.
It was crazy. Like I almost like didn't not care that there was a pandemic. Like I almost was like, okay, let's go. Like I didn't care because there was a pandemic.
Yeah.
I was like, there's nothing left. I have to succeed. And now that we're back, it's like, oh, everything's left.
And continues to be.
A mire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I do feel that. But I also see now that, do you want to go on to roses or do you have more things?
Okay. Let's go.
Moving on to roses, I do feel this like tectonic shift of this like sifting, like a gold pan or, like sifting through all the muck and the dirt and the nonsense and like and then being like left with like a pan of like gold. And that's the image I'm getting. And one of the roses is a recent rose of how we're seeing the MAGA cult disassemble before our eyes. The nerds versus the jocks narrative is so funny. It is so, and then the two immigrants running the Department of Government Efficiency is fighting with the MAGA uneducated, basically they're calling them retards, and saying like we need H-1B visas.
We can be demonetized. I mean, luckily we're not monetized at all, but like
at all, so it doesn't matter. But that's basically what Vivek is saying.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys aren't aware, there's a big immigration debate happening
with Vivek, Elon. Yeah.
Yeah, because they want to hire highly skilled international workers for their highly skilled tech jobs.
Wait a second. H1N1 is also the visa?
H1B. Okay. No, H1B. H1B visas. I know. There's two on H. Everything starts with H. Like, stop it.
Okay,
it's homophobic.
H1B, yes. Okay, go on. Yeah.
H1B visas are the ones where, like, basically if you're like a Korean scientist or whatever, you want to come over and work.
If you have a graduate
Google
degree,
AI.
you're specialized in any sort of science or anything like that, basically you get to come over. And that's how most people have come and started to and worked here historically, always.
Yeah, highly skilled workers.
Yes.
Now, they're saying that is different than like non-skilled immigration.
Sure.
MAGA right is saying that it's all immigration. We want Americans to work in those highly skilled Tesla jobs,
sure,
and Google jobs, and they're saying y'all can't read.
Yeah.
Look what you did to your education departments. Like, your universities are stacked with international brains. Like, your own people don't go to your colleges. Like, what are you even talking about? So there is a huge like rift happening between, and this is like such a no dust statement, between the regular MAGA and the billionaire tech MAGA. And it's like, no shit. Like, you fucking thought that he was looking out for you?
I mean, it's always been this way. And I will also
The
say,
fuck are you saying?
but also, can I just, I've literally just been having this conversation. I have a friend of mine just moved to Spain, and she was talking about the public school education system there. And this is the thing. Education in America has become a political issue. It's become political.
Yes,
and that's,
everything. Yeah.
And that's why education looks the way that it does. Because
100%.
And that's why internationally, like in Spain, a country that arguably not even GDP, like overall, like quality of life, like at least like it's not as good, right? Aside from the fact that, you know, they're safer and blah blah, like healthcare, all those things. But I'm saying, like, in terms of sizes of chips, opportunity, like, you know, like it's fundamentally very different. But because Europe and most of Asia has never changed the way they teach children, because it's not a political issue, right?
No.
It just is.
It should be a unified issue against other nations. It should be the most nationalistic issue.
It's actually a matter of national security, like education.
Are you kidding me? Like, the fact that your own citizens can't read. But here's what. The conservative movement has always been like this. They've always downplayed education and said, like, that's not something that the government should fund, private education for the rich. That's how you end up with a class of a voting class that you can manipulate. So, like, now the snake is eating its own fucking tail. Like, you've tried to manipulate this dumb fucking class of Americans for the last, 50 years now, since the wars. And you've now created a class to elect the billionaire class because that's what they want to be. But they're not. Now you're realizing the people who you elected. We didn't elect Elon Musk, but we did.
Yeah.
And now it's all disassembling in front of us. It's so beautiful to watch.
So this is your rose for this year?
My recent rose. Tied to, you know, the thorn of, like,
the French Revolution vibes of it all.
Yeah. Yeah, what's a rose for you?
I will say that a rose for me with regard to, at least politically, is absolutely this. Like, that there does seem to be a shift where identity politics is, like, kind of where the real concern around class is starting to emerge.
It's finally
like
emerging.
it's like, right, we're burning away all the bullshit. And I am including liberals here, right? With, like, everyone. And when we talk about education, I'm talking about liberals as well. They have co-opted and taken on and politicized education as well, right? Like, when I tell you the way that education is now, like, my son, like, I have a bit about this right now, Peter, like how my son, like, knows who Malala is, but, like, he does not know 7 times 7. Like, he knows which, like, tribe upon which like the school is upon.
We sit on.
And honoring them, but, like, they don't know what a tributary is. They're not doing they can't read a fucking map. Like, I swear to you that there's this what is the children's, like, we're losing the recipes, and the recipes are social studies. Like, it's just all of it. They can't formulate a fucking thesis statement to save their lives. They can't formulate an argument. Convenient.
Yeah, I wonder though. Yeah,
I mean, I'm throwing everybody under the bus here, right? Because we have let down, because we left children behind, no matter how much we say we didn't, right? Mm-hmm. I was having a conversation with a comic about, like a hypothetical about what you would do in the purge, like, politically, and Peter, his answer was so stupid. I looked at him and was like, "You were left behind. Like, your school."
What do you say?
He started to laugh, and he was like, "It's true," because I was like, "You like your school system let you down." Like,
no, what was his answer?
that he would like fuck Mitch McConnell, like something like so like it was not even like funny, and it was not like just violent or anything. It was just like so stupid in an conversation. You know what I mean? It was just like, what? Like, because he didn't know what else to say.
Maybe this is why comedy is becoming less good.
Because
there's less smart people.
They can't think
I
critically.
guess schooling doesn't. No, I don't know.
Because they can't think critically. Because comics should be thinking critically.
Yeah, but isn't that something you just kind of do as opposed to be taught how to do?
But you can't. You do have to be taught to write
You
a thesis.
do?
Yes, to write a thesis statement, to construct an argument against which. Of course.
Yeah, that's true.
Life is an essay contest, honey. Like, that's what it is. I don't understand why my son and his school is obsessed with them getting to algebra by 6th grade, because it's like, computers going to be doing that. Who fucking cares? Can you?
Yeah, but maybe ChatGPT is going to be writing their thesis statements.
No, because ChatGPT is never going to be able to communicate better than a human to human. If you've ever, like, you know this, Peter, you've tried and you've talked to ChatGPT. It's not writing a thesis or communicating more.
Not yet.
But who's going to teach it to?
I don't know.
People that can communicate just as well. Like, even being able to use it as a tool requires you to be able to communicate effectively to ChatGPT.
No, that's true. I mean, that
Period.
is what's going to be the differentiator between the AI futures, is like being able to work AI or not.
And communicate, and all of it requires you to communicate effectively. Life is an essay contest. Like, truly, like, modern art is an essay contest. Like, podcasts are an essay contest. Everything is a fucking essay contest. Being able to communicate effectively is the only way that America has been able to maintain any level of relevance. We're not. What are we doing better?
What was the what was the rose?
Oh, the fact that like
I forgot what you were. Yeah,
oh no,
I forgot
because the
what
fact
you
that
started.
the fact that like class is starting to emerge.
Oh, okay, great.
Like,
great.
because
Okay, great.
it's starting to happen where like I
Cool.
see it happening inside of the culture. Like, we see it with literally, we're living in a post Luigi universe, and this is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's exciting.
Okay.
Because like
Yeah.
we're having a genuine
love it.
conversation around it. Like,
Yeah,
that's
finally.
that is not being obfuscated around like identity politics. Because race is certainly
Yeah.
a part of class. But
It's intertwined.
It's intertwined. But like, you know, I was literally thinking about this, how I was being marketed a like it was like a small business that was like LGBTQ Filipino woman of color, like whatever owned thing. And I was like, if this was like a MAGA person saying the same thing, it would be a slur.
Yeah, I see.
You know what I mean? Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, is it
Yeah.
good? Like, it's nice.
Yeah.
Like, sure. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it'd be cool to support, but it's not like, shouldn't be the most identifiable thing about the company.
Right.
Like, what do you sell?
What is this?
What is this?
Yeah. That's a great sketch of like someone who's just like all the identities and like, by now, what is it? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're supporting us.
Be an ally. Are you a
Yeah.
racist?
So one of my roses is that this year, albeit a bad year for work, the work that I did the year before was... So I shot a movie called A Nice Indian Boy, and we went to South by earlier this year, and then went to New York, and we're now going to be
Wide
in
release.
theaters,
Wide
April 4th.
release.
Wide release.
It's not
I don't
limited,
know
honey.
why,
It's
but
wide.
National release.
It's not limited. It's wide.
Yeah,
It's
I don't.
wide.
It's major markets. But
That's wide. That's wide.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
The
It's
nation.
girthy.
That's wide.
Yeah, it's 2,000 miles. Yeah, it's east to west. So it's I've and by the way, none of that is technically work, as in there's no income driven by any of that stuff, but in a way, it really felt like I don't know how to say this. Like, as an artist, I've never felt something that I've helped create affect that many people positively. Like,
yes,
as a
yes.
comedian,
Sure.
I'm giving you minutes to possibly an hour of enjoyment at a time. But at least for me personally, it always felt like a very ephemeral response.
Sure,
Or
you
like-
leave the club, and that is, you leave it behind, right? Whereas like
You're just kind of like, and
Thank
it goes
you.
into
Yeah,
the
yeah.
air, into the night,
Mhm.
and then we reset. But there was something about watching a film with people at these festivals, and not just like hearing and experiencing their response in the theater, which was beyond,
yeah.
but afterwards how people reacted, mostly like with gratitude, like thanking us for making it, which I've never had that ever doing comedy. Like, no one's ever come out to me like, thank you so much for doing those jokes. You know what I mean? Like, that's never literally been a thing for me. Like, nothing I've ever written online. There's never been a sketch show I've done, or like a bit part I've done on a show, or like a co-star on Frasier. You know, like anything I've done, no one's ever approached me with gratitude, and that was humbling. And that really, that beyond work, that was something else. That made me kind of like, oh, almost reset myself of like, wow, this means something to people that is beyond my control. And that felt a little scary and also like amazing.
You remember that art means something to people.
Yes.
I mean, also you got
And
that,
I don't think I've ever been part of art.
but also, to be fair, you also bore witness to like being a part of a project where you got to reap something that you sowed much later, right? Because so much about comedy,
That.
so much about comedy is so
That.
immediate. This is being a part of something where you literally get to reap it later.
And over and over
yes,
again.
and also on an order of magnitude that is not commensurate necessarily with the time and effort you put forth, right? Like, because like
it's beyond
order of
the effort I put
magnitude,
in.
an order of magnitude
Yes.
beyond, yeah. That's
because
like, that's the power of
comedy is
fucking
almost
movies.
1-to-1.
1-to-1,
Yes.
absolutely.
It's you, them, in the moment, joke, laugh,
And
laugh.
place and time.
Place. And and the clanking of foods, like it's all that, and then it's gone. But the fact that I put in such little work, and these people are getting so much out of it is...
And
that's the thing that's really blown my mind.
and over
this
a
year.
period of time, over like this
Yes.
is actually
Across borders,
Yes.
across states.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it transcends the momentary, instantaneous gratification of stand-up comedy
yes.
as far as an art form. It like you said, like it expands into this thing that like I don't think I was ever like aware of, or like even aware enough to like think about or like ponder or consider upon. Like, it just felt so new. And being at our age, it's so rare that you experience something new,
I mean,
like a market price caviar.
I mean, okay, we
It
can.
was
we,
the market price caviar of
truly,
art.
Truly, like we can end on this. Like for me, when talking to you about this, like that's like what you've described is also my rose, because like I will just say, 2024, I feel so lucky to not have experienced that, because I would be insufferable, and I would be a monster.
What? What do you mean? What do you mean?
If I felt this, if I understood the or like the magnitude of this, like I understand why people that are like in shows like Friends or like you like where like people come up to you year after year and like it means something to them. I would be insane.
Insane as in you would close in or you would explode out?
I would explode out. There would be chunks of me.
Meaning
There would be
that
chunks of
you
me
would-
all over
you'd be,
94.
like,
Yes.
all-
I
You're
would-
like all over Instagram,
Yes.
and you'd be like, "Oh, ran into another fan." Like, oh, I see.
So, and that's why you're
I'm
lucky,
the
I'm
opposite
lucky.
response.
Yeah.
Like I close in.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get really 부끄러워. You know what I mean? When someone's like, "Oh my god, I love." Okay, so even yesterday, I did a set at the comedy club,
Yeah.
and this one guy in like the second row was like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god," and I was like, "Oh hey," and he's like, "I came for you," and I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I saw you on the flyer," and I was like, "You know who I am?" He's like, "Yeah, I love you. Like I just saw you on Tiger Belly. I'm a Bobby Lee fan too. I've been following your stuff," and I'm like, "Okay, we're not gonna do my set. I'm just gonna talk to you now." But like, it felt very much like you're seeing me naked almost.
Okay, so now that you put it that way, I
Like,
would be.
부끄러워.
Yeah.
I'm like this.
Actually, okay,
Like,
so
oh.
now that you put it that way, maybe I would actually, because anytime a fan has done that,
Yeah.
I do.
Uh-huh.
I told you this, right? Like one time, like someone was like coming to all my shows, and I was like describing
Mm-hmm.
it as like this person was like stalking me, and then I
Mm-hmm.
was talking to another comic about it, and she was like, "No, bitch, that's a fan."
That's a fan. I know. That's what I mean.
It is
Like,
embarrassing.
it's embarrassing. So like,
Maybe this is 2025. We understand and we can accept.
well, okay, we let it.
We
in.
let it in,
And thus we heal when we grow.
and we heal and we grow. We listen and we judge. Oh no, we don't judge.
You can't help it. All right, we'll try to be less judgy and more open to your love in 2025, and you could show your love financially by joining the Patreon this year, and make it your last thing that you spend on. You know, and throw us a couple of shekels.
Yeah,
There's a lot
and
of fun
truly,
stuff on
yes,
there.
and truly, also
Yeah.
like happy and healthy. Thank you so much for being with us. Like, 새해 복 많이 받으세요.
Throughout
Like,
the
yes,
year,
and like
새해 복
truly,
많이
yeah,
받으세요.
like truly, like thank you so much. I always feel like very circumspect, and I love the new year. So, thank you guys so much for being here and listen to us. It does really like help us.
And
connect.
the OGs know, you guys know. Like y'all are coming up to me at the 노래방.
Yes.
With the little window and tapping on the windows. Thank you for saying hi.
I mean, you guys are
love
just as
you.
important to like our
Yeah.
our conversations
yeah.
save us just as
Absolutely.
much, and we talk to each other because you're here. So thank
Yeah.
you so much, honestly.
Yeah, we appreciate you, and have a wonderful rest of the good year this
Good year? Yeah.
and happy good year to you.
Bye.
Bye.